Hi everyone, this is Damla Aktekin with A Drop of Om, and I wanted to connect with you briefly to talk about enjoying your food and to give you a few ideas about and different perspectives about thinking about that. I had a client session last week, which was how this thought process originated. We ended up working on this client's large intestine around the third chakra. And the way I do that is I use these little guys. This is a hockey puck and this is a tuning fork. And I activate the tuning fork and I go into the field to comb and find any places that have information. And what happens is that oftentimes in the vibration, as the tuning forks catches the different vibrations, its tune changes, and which is how I'm able to tune into those parts and decipher and bring to awareness what may be out of awareness, what you may not have noticed in your life. So with this particular client, and by the way, this is the method is called biofield tuning, or I in my website I call it sound balancing. If you're interested in finding out more about it, you can go to adropofom.com and proceed to find out more. Uh, so what we discovered was pretty interesting, which is why I wanted to share it here. Is that we as we went into the field, we went into the timeline of this client, and we discovered that she was not breastfed at all. And let me step back and say, I mean, this is by no means an advertisement on breastfeeding, or my intention is not to make you feel less if you haven't breastfed your child or if you haven't been breastfed, but I want you to be aware of a certain element that comes with breastfeeding, and that is the joy of food. If you think about the design as you come out of another person's body, you're meant to actually climb up that person towards the scent of the breast and catch the breast, which has your nourishment, which has your food. And from that point on, in the ideal scenario, you are breastfed, and that is not just physical nourishment. The act of breastfeeding is actually physically and emotionally bonding and pleasurable for both the baby and the mom. Again, I want to take one step back and say that is not always the case. I know that breastfeeding can be complex, but if we look at it symbolically, again, the anatomical purpose behind that is not just physical nourishment, because there's a skin to skin connection there with the mother, and you're also getting the warmth of the mother as she's holding you. You're also getting that nourishment, that knowledge that comes from being held in the mother's field. And if you have not breastfed your child, there are other ways of getting that connection. You can cuddle, you can do other ways, or you can find other ways of connecting with your child. But when it comes to establishing our neural pathways of connecting with food, that's the first origin, right? You come out, you find food, you connect with food, and it's meant to be enjoyable. It's meant to be pleasurable. Okay, so that I want you to keep in mind. So with this particular client, we actually discovered a lot of anxiety around food at that early age, at the time when she just came out of the womb and she didn't connect with the mom that way, and she was confused about where to find that warmth. And it felt as if the feeding time actually, and we're talking about the vibrations stored in the large intestine, and it felt as though the feeding time held a certain amount of anxiety for her. her body was getting anxious about the feeding time. The feeding time didn't represent something pleasurable, didn't represent something um, that would hold meaning for her, meaning in the sense of that deep skin to skin or emotional connection to life, right? So in that point of view, the mother, the breast is the life-giving, the nourisher. So and then as we continued on this journey with this particular client, we also discovered that as she reached adolescence around age 11, 12, this anxiety was replaced by the urge to numb. So she turned towards food, again, not for joy, not for connection, but there was this sense of, let me just stuff things down so I don't feel this anxiety anymore, which again created this, underneath that is the anxiety, and then on top of that is the sadness of that lost connection between the mom and the child, between the food and you. Okay, so let's imagine the case that whether you have been breastfed or not, you're here now. I want you to think about what you ate today and how you ate it. Were you rushing? Was there anxiety involved to get it out of the way? Or were you seated? Were you conscious about the way it smelled? Were you conscious about the way your body anticipated that food? Were you preparing something that raised your appetite, or were you buying something that raised your appetite, and not just your appetite, your pleasure? Something that felt truly amazing, that you're looking forward to, that connection. And not only that, this food that's in front of you, have you felt that, again, was it something that was just being done? Another thing on your checklist? Or was this something that, an opportunity to connect with this life that's here, that anticipates from the smells, from the look of the food, from the way you remember the food, that anticipates hopefully that pleasure or lack of it? And were you connecting with the life that's being presented to you on your plate, that is coming from the Mother Earth or the mother and father animals, however you choose to, or connect with your food? Were you connecting with that element that is there 3 times a day or more to support you? And that is the element of deep gratitude for being supported by life. And each and every meal and each and every snack time is an opportunity to feel that bounty that's in front of you, no matter what your food choices are. And we'll get to that in a minute, but no matter what you're eating, are you connecting with that nourishment? This is the mother that's feeding you. Every time you put something in your mouth, you're feeding yourself. But not only that, you're connecting with the Mother Earth, and everything comes from Mother Earth, that is providing you with sources of energy, sources of nourishment. So, and not only that, you're also connecting with your body each time you say, I'm going to choose to enjoy this. I'm going to choose to enjoy this. And the way to do that is not to go for your favorite dessert every single meal, but also to find ways to add more sensible or sensory experiences to your food, and to be aware of how your body reacts or anticipates before, and how your body reacts during and after to the food you put on your plate. And again, this is regardless of your food choices. And you can, and the pleasure at that point might be, yes, enjoying your favorite dessert, or however you choose to indulge yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. But are you indulging to the point of numbing something, versus are you indulging to feel pleasure and to enjoy, to fully enjoy being in this body, being a body, and connecting with your food? So those are the things I want you to keep in mind. And then I want to give you a few other options to bring some life to the experience of eating, because that's all there is. The vibration you bring into each and every experience of your life is going to matter. And food is a big, huge part of our lives. Um, and again, I don't talk about food because it's not my subject, but the vibrational health is my subject. So when, or vibrational harmony, vibrational well-being, and food is a part of that. So I'm not going to tell you eat this or don't eat that. That's completely up to you, your choices. But there is a way to enjoy the food by saying, I'm going to take these, and it can be just 10 minutes. I'm going to take this 10 minutes to just sit, breathe, maybe look into the eyes of the people around me, and just be here. Be here for this food that's here for me. And if you're not enjoying the food, I can guarantee that it's not the food, it's you. Then perhaps it's time to get some help and support around what vibrational harmony issues, or what may be out of tune vibrationally, that's preventing you from being right here to enjoy this. You could put your favorite utensils and favorite, flatware on the table. You could light a candle. You could treat yourself to a special salad, and maybe carry a few utensils from home that are not disposable, so that you can have the feeling of a proper meal, even at the office or wherever you are. And the last thing I want to say is, so the enjoyment that you bring into your life, however way you do it, it's going to carry over to other areas. So it's going to carry over to how you carry yourself. It's going to carry over to whether you say yes or no. Because each time you're choosing enjoyment, each time you're choosing yourself, you're choosing the life that's here. The life you're choosing to support and nourish, the life that you have been carrying, you've been in. So that in itself is a huge symbolic and a beautiful practice to do. So I'm going to leave you with this. So again, think about what you're planning to eat for your next meal, and think about ways of how you can make it more enjoyable. How can you connect with that gratitude, that sense of feeling supported by life, feeling nourished by life, and having your body experience, allowing your body to experience that joy of chewing your food, swallowing your food, being with your food. So I do sincerely hope that you enjoy your next meal. If you're interested in finding out more about your vibrational harmony and vibrational well-being, go to my website, adropofom.com, and you can download a resource that's called 12 questions to determine your energetic wounds. Energetic wounds are the things that live in you, those vibrational patterns that you're not aware of, that may prevent you from enjoying, or that may have been those habitual ways because you haven't experienced this joy when you came out into the world. So it's finding that, okay, the choice is mine now. I can experience the joy now. But first discovering what may be missing in your story. My name is Damla Aktekin with A Drop of Om. You can find out more about me and all that I do for vibrational well-being at adropofom.com. And I call this whole process healing your energetic wounds. And healing your energetic wounds is not a one-time thing, it's a journey. And I'd love to be able to be of help to you in that journey. So stop by. Please, if you watch this and if you found this useful and inspiring, please share it with others and leave me a comment to tell me how you plan to enjoy your food today. And I hope to connect with you very soon. Namaste.